So what's up, good people? We back, episode 6. Commitment issues. That's what we talking
Ooh,
about today.
commitment issues. Let me turn my volume up.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, when they hear the word commitment issues, they probably think about relationships. But nah, we're not talking about relationships. We're talking about commitment issues with things you need to do and things you need to take care of that you're not doing. So you're not committed and you got some issues.
Yeah, we got
So
to air it out.
So yeah, so what do you I guess really said just start off with, you know what I mean? Your thoughts on that topic before we dive in.
Yeah. What's up, good people? Cedric Lavelle. Welcome back to Keep It Thorough Thursdays. We are on episode 6, commitment issues, and we got a lot to talk about. This is one of those things that Eric and I are both passionate about as it relates to just your overall self-development. Staying committed. But as far as my experience and things that I've dealt with as it relates to commitment, and with commitment issues, we're more so specifically talking about goals and being committed to your goals. And so things that I've experienced, I can actually relate back to my sports days with being an athlete. And I talked to my wife about this before, but I feel that I shortchanged myself during my athletic career or time by having a lack of commitment, not seeing the goals from a broader view, and limiting myself with my effort, with my discipline, with my level of engagement as it relates to goals and goal achievement. So I can say that I'm guilty or have been guilty in the past of suffering from commitment issues and lacking the necessary things to really put myself in a better position to achieve my goals or even exceed my goals. So when we discuss this topic, a lot of things begin to resonate with me because, like I said, man, I remember times when, you know, and as the saying goes, you know, if I knew then what I knew now, I would have approached and done things differently, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it was one of those situations. It's like, man, if I would have knew then what I know now, I certainly would have applied myself a little bit differently. I certainly would have been more committed, put in a little bit more effort, taking the time to do this, that, and the other. So, like I said, man, this one really resonates with me because I feel like this is something that everyone can benefit from as it relates to commitment and as it relates to goal achievement. But yeah, man, that's my experience there. What you got?
Yeah, no, I agree with you 110%. Which, you know, my story, obviously everybody don't, but I've been on my own since I was 15. And sports was really kind of my thing, right? Like I was really into football, but I was a knucklehead. I wasn't doing my coursework because once I got out of school, you know what I mean, it was really survival mode. You know, I got to take care of myself. So I wasn't committed to my sport. You know, I wasn't committed to football. You know what I mean? If I'd have been committed and kind of focused, you know, I believe I had the talent that would have, you know, taken me far. You know, which I'm sure you can relate to that. But so yeah, me as well. I've also had commitment issues, you know, but you know, as you grow older, you know, you definitely live and you learn, and you kind of take that knowledge and you apply it, you know, to make you better in the future.
Right.
And like you said, you know, if you knew then what you know now, you know, hindsight is always 2020 though, right?
Yeah, that's a fact.
But so yeah, so when and like you said, commitment issues, like I feel a lot of people don't set goals or don't aim high enough. Like when we talked about expectations, right? Like setting proper expectations. I feel like a lot of people don't set those expectations or set difficult enough goals because they're afraid of making that commitment. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to have to be committed to putting in that work to be great. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
being great ain't something that just come easy. Being successful don't just come easy.
It's a
So I
process.
feel like a lot of people are cool with not making commitments because it's like, okay, so let's work.
Right. Yeah. And it's like if I fail at it, then I didn't really give the best effort anyway. So it's that accountability piece too. You know,
Yeah, yeah. It all ties together.
that makes a significant difference when it comes to that. So so as we do every week, you know, we have a PowerPoint that we kind of reference throughout our conversation. And obviously at the end of every episode, if you go to the link in our bio, we'll have our kit where you can get some content and some extra context as far as what we'll be discussing today. But we got a lot of different concepts that we want to bring to you all just to kind of help you with goal achievement and really understanding commitment issues and how you can correct those things. So there's a few. Did you have anything even before we go into the?
Well, no, you hit the nail on the head. But for anybody that's watching us for the first time, really what we try to do is take sometimes what are considered complicated topics and simplify them, you know, to the best of our ability. And if you haven't looked at our previous videos, I'd highly recommend going back and watching those videos. And as Said just mentioned, at the end of every video, if you want to go to the link in the bio, it's a kit. And if y'all haven't caught on by now, KIT, keep it thorough. It's the acronym for keep it thorough. So we have kits at the end of every episode where you can kind of recap what we were talking about. And if there's like some good resources that can help you out, then so be it. But with all that being said, let's go ahead, you know what I mean? Let's get into the content. And I'm gonna go back to you, Sid.
Let's get it rolling, man. So why are you taking L's, taking losses? Commitment, taking big L's. So here are a few things of why you could potentially be taking L's on your commitment. So there can be a lack of belief, a lack of intention, a lack of discipline, a lack of motivation, a lack of effort, and a lack of strategy. Now, a lot of those words are really self-explanatory in a sense, but just to kind of add more context to that. So basically, when I say a lack of belief, basically what you're looking at, the confidence to do it. You lack the confidence. You're not confident enough in yourself to commit. You're not confident enough to yourself or confident enough in yourself to contribute, right? Lack of intention, the habits to do it. Intention, and this is a big thing for me, intentionality. With everything that you do, everything that you commit to throughout your day, all of your responsibilities, how you manage your time, being intentional, understanding that every moment of your day, it matters. So whatever you're doing at X, Y, and Z time, that's what you should be doing. And obviously life happens and you have to adapt. But when you're committed
but that should be the exception.
That should be an exception, right? But when you're committed to a goal and you understand what that goal takes, you're going to be intentional throughout your day. You're going to make certain that what you're doing is what you're actually doing, and what you're committed to is what you're committed to, right? So a lack of discipline and consistency. Anything that has to be achieved takes consistency. You have to go through the process of being consistent, day in and day out, performing at a high level, doing the things that are necessary to keep yourself accountable for your actions throughout the day, but being consistent enough to do it repeatedly, day after day,
day out, day
in and day out. No shortcuts, no breaks, no stopping points, but committing to a standard every day consistently, right? The lack of motivation, desire, that's one of the biggest things. If you don't have the desire to do it, it ain't going to get done. Because anything that comes in life that challenges you or gives you some adversity, gives you an obstacle, you're gonna stop. That's it's inevitable. Because the desire to continue going, the desire to get through all the BS that you may have to go through as you're looking to achieve your goals is going to affect you, right? The lack of effort, so work ethic. And anybody who has been an athlete or whatever field that you work in, you understand that if you want to achieve a goal and you want to be successful, and you want to do something at a high level, it's going to take a crazy amount of effort. And that work ethic has to be there. There's no shortcutting on work ethic at all. Like, there's no excuses. There's no part-time.
And can't nobody do it for you.
Can't nobody do it for you. You got to put in the work, point blank, period. Right? And then there's a lack of a strategy. You don't have the plan to do it. So anything that you are setting your mind to or setting your day to, you have to have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, you don't know which direction that you're ultimately going. It's like if you're preparing to go on a vacation and you're going to be driving in a vehicle, but you don't plan the route to take. It's like how do you expect to get there if you don't plan? Like, if you don't have a strategy, if you don't have a time where you just sit and you look at the goals, you evaluate them, you think about all the intricate details of it. And I can say from personal experience, and I know we've talked countless amounts of time, and anybody who knows me on a personal level, I'm a very strategic person. Like, everything that I do is about strategy and how I can put myself in the best case scenario, but also prepare for the worst case scenario as well too. And understanding that in life, obviously things happen. That's inevitable. Life just is what it is. But when there's a goal in mind, right? And when you're passionate about achieving that goal and you're relentless about achieving that goal. And you have
I like that relentless. Like you know, that book I'm reading right now. Yeah.
It takes a different level of intensity to really go after something relentlessly, right? It takes a different type of person to withstand whatever it is that they're going through and whatever life throws at them and say, you know what? I set this goal, I'm going to achieve it. I don't care what goes on around me. I don't care who's doing what. I don't care what obstacles come up. I don't care what challenges come up. I don't care who says this, who's doing this. It doesn't matter. I have a goal. I want to achieve it. I have a standard. I have expectations, and I'm going to commit to that. And like
ain't nothing gonna get in the way of that.
And nothing's going to get in the way of that. And in that process, you change as a person, right? You grow as a person. You mature as a person. The way that you value your time is different. The way that you set yourself apart is different. And it's not to come off as you being better than somebody else, but you value what it is that you want. And a lot of people don't understand that. And a lot of people don't see things like that. But a person that's goal oriented and that's really wanting to achieve something, all that stuff isn't going to matter, right? Because
exactly.
your thing is, you know what? I got this goal that I want to achieve. And it's not even about the outcome of it necessarily. It's about the process, and it's about you dealing with yourself if you didn't give your best effort. Like, if you didn't commit to it faithfully and fully as you should. So
holding yourself accountable. Holding yourself accountable.
Holding yourself accountable. And that's a challenge for people too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, that's a huge. Well, like, that goes hand in hand with the commitment. You know what I mean? That people don't want to hold themselves to a certain standard, which is accountability. So they like, I just won't even try.
Personal accountability, man, and that's essential to anything. Like, because if you can't hold yourself accountable, you can't expect anybody else to do it for you. Because then that leaves room for excuses. Then that leaves room for you saying, well, you didn't tell me that I should do. No. You have to hold yourself accountable and do the things that you say that you're going to do, when you say that you're going to do it, and how you're going to do it. And that's only on you, right? And I feel like once you get to a point where you're able to make decisions for yourself, like you can't go back to what other people did or the lack of certain things that people didn't do to help you get to where you want to be.
I hear that a lot, man. Like, people blame other people all the time.
Right.
You know, like, well, I didn't have this, or well, that person had that, or whatever. And I like what you say. You're saying, you have everything you need.
Yeah. Everything
right?
you have is everything that you need.
Yeah, there you go.
All the
Everything
time.
you have is everything that you need, which is true. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause everything that you need is inside of here and inside of here. You know what I'm saying?
Your head and your heart.
And it's up to you to dedicate, to commit yourself, to be consistent, to have a plan, to implement your strategy, and to hold yourself accountable. Which accountability, I think, is a good segue.
Yeah, there it is. Boom. Next one.
It's a good segue into really the next segment, right? So commitments take ability. And when we say ability, ability is the common word in these 5 words, right? Which is capability, adaptability, accountability, relatability, and sustainability, right? So capability is really knowing that you're able to do the work that's necessary, knowing that you're capable, knowing you can do it, having that I can attitude. Like, push yourself, be hard on yourself, but don't doubt yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do whatever you put your mind to. Now, obviously, realistically speaking, right? Like, but you can do anything you put your mind to. Like, just really grind it out, grind hard, put in the time, put in the work. It's not just gonna happen overnight, but you're capable. You can do it. Adaptability, which goes back to, just being able to adapt to changes. We say this all the time. I think every single episode that we have, we talk about being able to pivot. You know what I mean? Being agile, because things are gonna happen. I'm a firm believer in the law of averages. So whenever I got a lot of good stuff going on in my life, I know some bad's coming. And when I got a lot of bad stuff going on in my life, I know some good stuff is coming. You know what I mean? Life has a way of balancing itself out. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like, so being able to know, like, okay, I'm dealing with this tough spot, and that presents itself in various different ways.
Yeah.
Like, we're dealing with COVID right now. I think COVID has been very hard on a lot of us mentally.
Right.
With just the change. Like, first we stuck in the house. We didn't really know too much about the virus. Wasn't no vaccines. All these people dying. So we stuck in the house. We're not going nowhere. That's real hard on you. You're working from home. You're probably spending 20 hours at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was an adjustment. You know what I'm saying? But just being able to adapt, find a way to deal with that new norm. You know what I'm saying? But challenges, my point in that is challenges present themselves in various ways, and you got to be able to adapt.
Take them on. Yeah.
You can't use it as an excuse. And too often, some people wait for that challenge to happen to use it as a cop-out, which really, I think, goes back to your point said about having the desire to want to do something. When you truly have the desire to want to do something, you're not going to let anything stop you. Just period, point blank. Like, you're not.
Desire.
But if you really didn't want to, if you really didn't want to and you're just doing it because of someone else, or you just following what, someone else is doing because you think it's the thing to do, you really don't have no desire. Your heart's really not in it. So it'll be real easy for you to be, kind of deviate off of that path, like, and just, whatever.
Right.
So adaptability. The next one is accountability, and that speaks for itself, man. Like, you have to hold yourself to a high standard and those around you as well, and hold yourself accountable. Be willing to admit when you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing for me. Admitting when I'm wrong. Like, I have no problem doing that. You know what I mean? And like, a lot of people have a problem admitting when they're wrong. They feel bad or guilty, where the reality is, once you admit that you're wrong, a lot of people don't even care no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can move on. It's when you continue to not hold yourself accountable, that's an
try to
issue,
avoid it, and then
right?
that
Because
doesn't leave room for improvement. I feel like if you're,
exactly, no,
if
no,
you're
no,
accountable,
no, no room for improvement, and then it creates that dynamic. Like you know what I mean? Like that's when people were angry when you don't hold yourself accountable. Once you hold yourself accountable, we can move on from it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like keep it moving, but hold yourself accountable. Set that list of goals. Make sure you're checking off them boxes. Have somebody in your corner like I got said got me, where you hold yourself accountable. Like, hey, bro, you slacking. Get it together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's
but
like
hold yourself accountable.
like we're working out when I was talking about earlier.
Well, yeah.
You know,
I've been on my
working out. I'm
workout
like,
kick.
dang, I gotta go get my workout in. I feel bad.
Keeping like-minded people
man.
around you help with stuff like that. They motivate you.
Man.
Hope to keep you, hope to hold you accountable. But then relatability. Just being able to identify with what's wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to know what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like you really got to sit down and really ask yourself, like, what are you working towards?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like what do you want to accomplish? Like there's so many people. Which again, this goes back to our previous episode where we was talking about setting expectations, right? There's so many people where the bar is so low that they just out here, like they're literally just living.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like with no goals, no purpose, not trying to achieve anything, just want to party, kick it. You know what I'm saying? Just living for the day. You know what I mean? And I can't function like that. You know what I mean? Like I have children, a wife, a family, a legacy I'm trying to build. I know you can relate to that 110% said. Like I have to have purpose. I need to be working towards something. There has to be structure, which is very important to me. Structure. You know what I'm saying? And so just identify what you want. Write it down. You know what I'm saying? And then the next one is sustainability. Being able to build on the momentum and perform, which this goes back to what we was talking about with commitment in the first place, and why a lot of people don't like to commit to things because they don't think they can either one sustain it or just continue to perform at that high level. So I'm reading a book right now, which we just kind of talked about, Relentless, and in the book, the author classifies three types of individuals. It's a cooler, a closer, and a cleaner. And he defines Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, some of the best basketball players ever, as cleaners. And it refers to other players as a closer, which would be like the second best. And then the third would be a cooler. And in those three types of people, a cooler is the type of person that doesn't like to be held to a high standard because they don't think they can maintain it.
Right.
So they kind of run away from it. Those are the type of people who, just try to, run away from conflict, just try to take the easy way out, like agree with you, even if they don't necessarily agree with you, kind of fall back when, there's discussion or things like that, right? Whereas the closer, first and foremost, their intention is not to offend you or to make you feel a way, but they're not going to hold back just to protect you.
Right.
They're going to be honest with you. They're going to be upfront, straightforward, and they're going to continue to do what's necessary to get the results that they want, regardless of how anybody feels about it. You know what I'm saying? And like, you have to be that type of person. You got to have that type of mind state. Like, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You know what I'm saying? It matters what you think and what your goals and what your purpose is and what you're working towards. That's what matters. Yep. And you have to focus on that. You can't, and in the world we live in with social media, so many people are easily influenced and following the Joneses and whatever the case may be. And that's really, it's going to knock you off your square. It's going to knock you off your game. You got to be laser focused, tunnel vision. But sustainability, you got to be able to sustain it. You got to be able to, and the only way you can sustain it is to continue to have a plan and goals and continue to keep yourself accountable and to check those goals off and reevaluate those goals. And once you reach them, then create a new list. and push harder to try to go even further. And that's how you continue to build that momentum and sustain it. So going on to the next, I guess, little segment here is goal engagement tasks, which I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one, Seth.
Yeah. So any time that we obviously go through a lot of these subjects, we like to have specific actions that you can take, things that you can just implement instantly after you get off this call, after you get off the segment, right? So we've got about five different things that you can do immediately as it relates to achieving your goals. So I'll just go through the 5, and then Eric and I just kind of give our insight on those particular things. So one of them be write out specific and detailed actions that are needed to achieve your goals, right? Put it on paper and be specific and detailed. And I'm saying specific and detailed from the point of saying when you're going to do it, what time you're going to do it, what it looks like while you're doing it, and what the end result should be from you doing it, right? So do that. Write it down and be as detailed and specific as you can. The next one would be designate time in your day that you are actively focused on working on your goals. So if you know what your goals are and what it is specifically that you're looking to contribute to and achieve, you need to have time when you're actively focused on it. When I say actively focused, that means like tuning out everything else that's around you, and you're focused specifically on whatever that set goal is and achieving that. The next one is create a visual calendar that shows each day you contributed to your goals. So with a visual calendar, you're writing out your goals, and every day you're going to look at that calendar. You're going to say, did I commit to this today, or did I not commit to it? And that's a visual reminder that shows you, okay, you went 5-10 days and you did absolutely nothing. So that goes back to that accountability piece, right? Then find someone that you respect who will challenge you in the progress of your goals. So finding someone that can tell you, hey man, you ain't committed like you said you are, or you're not putting in the work or putting in the effort that's needed in order for you to achieve your goals. And then the last one is view your goals and visualize the manifesting of those goals. So I'm a big believer in putting yourself in that position of what that potential outcome could be, but also considering what it would look like if you didn't achieve those goals. So like Eric and I were saying earlier, just visualizing it, that's not always just enough, right? You need to understand it from both perspectives. See the outcome from it, but also understand what may happen or how you may feel if you didn't achieve it, or what it would look like, or who it affects if you didn't commit to the way that you said that you were going to commit in the beginning. So those are 5 different things that you can do immediately as it relates to achieving your goals and setting the time to really commit to those. What you got, E?
Man, the power. So you've always been real big on planners, right? Well, yep. For long as I know, and I never was really big on planners. Like I had a calendar on my phone, you know what I'm saying? So would add things to that calendar. I would have in my mind a list or a tally of things that I wanted to do. But I wanted to try something new. And you know, I've implemented this new thing with the 2-week rotating calendar, which I'll share more on that in another episode. But you had recommended I get a calendar, which I was looking for something digital that I can put in my room and make it easy to add to. But I don't know what it is, but it's something hits different with me writing down my week. Right. You know what I'm saying? And accounting for the time. Like it really just does something different to me where somebody hits me up. Like just thinking when you talk to certain people, right? And you're like, oh, what's up, bro? What you doing today? Nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What you got going on?
You know what I mean? Or what you got going on this weekend? Nothing. Or how many times a person accidentally double books, not remembering they already had a prior engagement. You know what I'm saying? Like having a calendar or a planner where somebody hits you up, let me check right quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me look. Or let me put this in my planner, you know, this month or two out in advance for this birthday or this trip I'm taking or whatever the case may be. So, you know, when that time comes, you know, oh, okay, I already got something going on. But it just does something different to me versus just in my calendar. And you know, everybody is different, but that writing it down and having it visual, like in that sense, because in your phone is still technically visual. And if that works for you and you can stick to that and be committed to that, then do that. But that's really one of the main things that kind of sticks out to me about this is because I'm a very visual person. And I also, I know I've read some, I don't want to quote it because I'm going to say it wrong because I don't remember the specifics, but something to do with when you write stuff down, like it does something else with your brain with helping you to remember. You know what I'm saying? Versus if it's just in your mind, or even if you type it, if you actually write it out. You know what I'm saying? But in summary of all this, staying committed, right? Staying committed takes work. It takes time. It takes patience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes
energy,
effort, accountability. You know, it takes a lot of things, but it's very rewarding at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, you have to be committed. And more people than not have commitment issues, if we're being honest. That's more people than not. And there's a reason why everybody isn't successful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. How we choose to utilize those 24 hours is the difference maker.
That's it.
And those who are committed and strategize and are mindful of how they're spending their time are the ones who are able to be more efficient and operate at a higher level.
Right.
Versus those who just let time go by, you know, who really don't have any plans or any structure. And again, just out here living. And if you want to achieve any level of success, you have to stay committed. And that's all I have.
One more thing too that I didn't say that you can do as it relates to goals, but this is big too. And I actually did this with my family before the year started. But do a vision board. You know, put a vision board together. You know, everything that you want to achieve, make a visual of it and see it every day. You know, and really internalize that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's when you invest emotions in something and those emotions run deep, and you know that whatever it is that you're wanting to do is worth it, you're going to put forth the effort. It's inevitable. You just have to believe in yourself and be willing to challenge yourself. Because like we said in previous episodes, it's going to feel different. It's not going to feel the same. People may not look at you the same, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like you're changing. You're growing. You're learning. And these are three things that I always say. You always want to learn. You always want to evolve. You always want to grow. Those are three basic essentials in life. Learn, evolve, and grow. And as you go through the process of achieving goals and you commit to those things, all of those things are just going to fall into place.
And it really becomes like a high. You know what I'm saying? Like
man, it really does.
You get to the point where it becomes the norm. You get to the point where, it's not. I'm not gonna say it's not hard anymore because you should continue to challenge yourself, but it doesn't feel as difficult because you're
embracing. It's an embracing of it. It's like I know this is what it feels like, but I'm willing to embrace the moments of it, like the feeling of it. And this is something, I get so passionate about that because whenever you get the feeling of going through a process, and maybe I'm just weird like that, but I like the challenges. You know what I'm saying? I like
that's where you learn. Yeah. Like period. It's not about the end result, right? Like obviously once you get to the end, enjoy the fruits of your labor, but all of the learning and where you're able to learn how to sustain it is through the process.
That's a fact. Absolutely.
Because then if you lose it, you know how to get it back.
Right.
Whereas if something's just handed to you and you just go from here to here, one, you're not going to appreciate it as much. So you're going to take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? And then if you lose it, you're not going to know how to get it back. Exactly. So the joy, and like you say, is in that journey. You know what I'm saying? That's where the journey. That's where the character is built. That's where you know what I mean? That's where the knowledge is gained. You appreciate the outcome when you go through it. Exactly. You said it. You appreciate the outcome when you go through it.
And anybody who follows me on social media, I always talk about be beneficial. Like that's like my whole branding message. But that's what being beneficial is. It's going through those experiences, going through those challenges, the adversity, but the knowledge that you gain from what you go through is what you give back, right? Like if you're always thinking about the end goal and what the outcome is going to look like, but you want to skip that part in the middle, you're missing an opportunity to learn. You're missing an opportunity to gather information that can be insightful for somebody else, right? And I feel like as people, our purpose is to serve others. That's what I feel wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Whatever you can do to help somebody else out and get them further along in life, you should do that. And the way that you do that is embracing a process, embracing challenges, embracing the learning experiences that you have, because that's beneficial. Because what you're now able to do is just take those experiences, take the knowledge that you gain, take all of those gifts that you got, right? And be able to give it back. And then that cycle just continues. And I feel like, man, that's just how you make the world a better place. Like if you're
100%. And that's also why there's really no such thing as failing. Because if there's a lesson learned and you learn what not to do the next time, there's no L in that. You know what I'm saying? That's a positive. You know what I'm saying? And especially because then you can turn around and share that knowledge with someone else.
That's a fact.
So if they're going beneficial, if they're going through a similar process, you know what I'm saying? If they're like, for instance, I have a clothing line. There's a lot of things I went through with my clothing line. It fell on its face a couple times and I had to get it back, learned a lot. Now I'm able to share that information. You know what I'm saying? If I can give the next person a head start in what took me 2 years, they can do it in 6 months. Why wouldn't I want to do that? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where we got to continue to share this information. And really, that's what this platform is all about. You know what I'm saying? It's sharing information, being beneficial, doubling up. You know what I'm saying? Like putting yourself in a better position today than you were yesterday, and putting yourself in an even better position tomorrow than you were today. You know what I'm saying? Like knowledge is power, and sharing that knowledge is extremely important. And as you go through that journey, you know what I mean? And uncovering what you don't know, where you can focus in those areas and improve, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, to just kind of really strengthen your arsenal, your tool belt, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, commitment.
That's it, man.
You know what I mean? This right here, 6 weeks in, this takes commitment. You know what I'm saying? It takes commitment. And it's something that we enjoy doing. You know, we enjoy coming on here, growing this platform, sharing the information, and we're going to continue to do it. But I'm gonna let you say whatever you got to say and then hit him with the outro. Okay, hey, well, y'all know how it goes, man. We appreciate y'all 6 weeks in. Anybody who's on now who catches the video after the fact, be sure to check out the kit in the bio. And with all that being said, if you don't do nothing else, be sure to keep it thorough. And we'll holler at y'all next time.
Peace out.
Peace.